Welcome back to Brothers and Blockbusters, a sibling-hosted Average Joe podcast, where each week we discuss the biggest movie and entertainment news and review the latest releases so you don't have to. I'm your co-host, Elliot.
And I'm your co-host, Eric.
And today we're covering more updates from Spider-Man Brand New Day, sifting through May's movie and TV release schedule, and reviewing 2026 film Crime 101. Ready to get started?
Yes, sir.
So this week in Hollywood, I'm just going to go through kind of the biggest stories that we have. Starting with story number one, movies and TV releasing this month.
Yeah, we have a lot of good releases this month, it looks like. You know, we talked about this prior to recording. I think a lot of stuff people can get excited about. A bunch of different areas, types of movies, so...
Yeah, we're getting right into like the summer movie season, which usually starts with May, and then obviously goes through the rest of the summer. So there's a lot of good stuff coming out. And where I get most of this stuff is from firstshowing.net. This site I've been using since probably 2019 or 2020. They post every single movie that comes out for the entire year, broken down by month. Whether it's, an indie movie that may expand to big, more theaters as the year goes on.
Sure.
Or, obviously your big blockbusters. So
that's better than how I would do it. I'd go to my AMC list and see what's coming soon. And I'd be like, it can get very confusing.
It can get very confusing. That's why I was able to finally find something, because there's so many sites like Rotten Tomatoes I've tried to use for it and just really hasn't worked out. So this website just literally shows everything. And every month, like first couple days of the month, I'll go through and write down every single movie that seems good or something I'm interested in seeing.
Sure.
So for May, we've already had Devil Wears Prada that came out last weekend. That made $230 million in the global box office, which is really, really good.
Yeah, that's crazy. I mean, the first movie has its fans, and it's a fantastic movie, but seeing $230 million globally for second film in the series, that's pretty remarkable, honestly.
And that came out, the first one came out, almost 20 years ago?
Yeah, early 2000s.
So to have like a legacy sequel in a way, and to have this big of a box office in its first weekend is pretty amazing. You haven't seen it, have you?
No, so that's one thing my fiance Katie's been getting me on is we've started it a couple times. I tend to do that, watch movies, get into it, and then we get busy, take the dog out. It's time to go to bed because I'm exhausted, and then I never go back and finish them. So there's a good chunk of movies that you're like, wait, you've never seen that? But like, yeah, I've seen it in bits and pieces.
There's a lot of movies from you with
those.
those.
We're not going to get into some of these movies because it's quite frankly, as someone who's co-hosting a movie podcast, I should have seen already. So.
I still haven't seen The Godfather, so if that, as someone who's hosting a movie podcast hasn't seen The Godfather, I've probably seen every other major movie.
Wait, hold on. You haven't seen? Have you ever nothing of The Godfather?
I've seen bits and pieces of probably the first one and the third one.
So you just skipped over the second?
Yeah, it was one of those times where it was on TV and I was just kind of watching.
What?
I know it's one of those things that's on my list, and I keep saying it's on my list, but eventually I will see it.
I've never seen Shawshank, but I think it's not seeing The Godfather is worse.
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll leave that up to you guys.
I've seen Casino. I've seen Goodfellas. I've seen The Irishman.
And you still have not seen the greatest mafia movie of all time.
I've seen The Sopranos, the whole show. So I know. It's a gap in my resume that I'm not proud of. But getting back to kind of what's coming out this month, this weekend is Mortal Kombat 2. And Sheep Detectives. The Sheep Detectives one, do you remember that?
Dude, we saw that.
The trailer?
We saw the trailer for that during Project Hail Mary, and that might have been one of the funniest trailers I've ever seen. Completely unexpected.
With Hugh Jackman, too, out of all people, who's...
Completely unexpected.
So if you haven't really seen the trailer, even heard about it, I don't know the full extent of it, but essentially there are live-action sheep that talk to each other, and there's some crime that happens with Hugh Jackman, and there's the whole movie's based on that.
Watch the trailer.
You have to watch the trailer. You're going to laugh.
It's hilarious.
It's really funny. And apparently it's gotten really good reviews.
I know, I saw.
So may have to see that one. I'm not planning on seeing it, but who knows? And then next week, a week from today, May 12th, is The Punisher: One Last Kill. So that's just a special. I guess it's not a show nor a movie.
So is it just like one long episode or something?
Yeah, it's probably an hour long.
Kind of like the Werewolf
by Night one. Yeah. That came out like 4 or 5 years ago.
Yeah.
Very similar. I don't know where it takes place in the MCU, whether that's before the season of Daredevil or after. Okay. But Jon Bernthal is not in the season of Daredevil. That's not a spoiler or anything. That just he wasn't announced.
Oh, okay.
That he was not going to be in it. And I think part of that is because he was filming this. So that comes out next Tuesday. And then the 15th, so that's next weekend, is In the Gray, which is a Guy Ritchie movie.
Yeah, that looks really interesting. I don't know if you guys anyone has seen any Guy Ritchie movies. I know recently he had The Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare. I didn't have it super high on my list, but I actually thoroughly enjoyed it. It was a lot of the same cast as in this movie. Isa Gonzalez, Henry Cavill, to name a couple. Looks really interesting. Jake Gyllenhaal. Just looking at the trailer, It looks like one of those like fun classic action movies that you just love going to see in the summer.
Yep.
Early in summer, obviously, because May's not technically the summer, but you know what I mean.
Yeah. Have you seen the Gentleman? I believe that's Guy
No.
Ritchie as well.
Yes, it is. I don't think I've
That's
seen it.
with Matthew McConaughey and I think a bunch of these guys who
Oh,
were
I know.
big in his movie.
I've seen trailer. Is Colin Farrell in that too?
I think you're right. Yeah.
Yeah, I have not seen that, but I've seen like again bits and pieces, clips on Instagram Reels or TikTok, things like that. So.
Yeah. I expect this one to be a pretty good one as well.
Yeah, it's exciting. It looks it's again, it's one of those classic action drama with a good cast. Like it's one of those movies you're gonna put on. You're just gonna have a good time seeing a movie.
Mm-hmm. Also, next week is Dutton Ranch, which is on Paramount Plus, a sequel to.
Yeah, so Yellowstone kind of tailed off in the last couple seasons. I watched religiously for the first 4 or 5 seasons, and then I think they had a big dispute with Kevin Costner. I don't think he was in the last season, and it kind of what happened with House of Cards, right? Without Kevin Spacey. I mean, the last season House of Cards just absolutely tanked.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if Yellowstone's last season was as bad, but we'll see. I know they have a bunch of prequels too.
Oh, that's right.
On
like
Paramount Plus with Helen Mirren.
1800 something and 17
so those
something.
This should be interesting. I mean, I love the theme. I like the style. The show, it's fantastic. It's a good drama. For those of you who have never watched it or thought about watching, Yellowstone for the first few seasons just hits. Every episode is just like, it's crazy.
Yeah.
It's just crazy.
Have you watched all seasons of Yellowstone?
No, I didn't watch the last season.
Okay.
I don't think Kevin Costner was in it.
Is this something you're interested in watching?
Yeah, I'll probably go back. Look, I have such a big list of TV shows I want to get back into watching and movies to watch. Yellowstone's kind of one of them.
Mm-hmm.
I have like a big group of dramas that I'd love to get back to watching. Like I really want to rewatch Breaking Bad, Game of Thrones. Want to start The Sopranos. I've never seen that, so that's a little gap.
I have that book you got me. You can go through that too.
I do. When did I get that for you?
Christmas one year?
Yeah.
Which essentially is what, like a book, like it shows each episode, it kind of.
Yes. Yeah.
There's like a chapter on each one. Like.
Yep. And that was right after you just watched The Sopranos, and I was at Barnes & Noble. I was like, I need to get Elliot something for Christmas. And
I haven't done my rewatch yet, but I will definitely check that out when I rewatch.
Yellowstone's definitely something I want to get back into. It's fantastic. It's a really good show. Acting's phenomenal, but
that's one show I've not got into yet. One of the big ones.
You'll like it.
Yeah. May 22nd, so I believe this is Memorial Day weekend.
Early
Star
this
Wars, The Mandalorian and Grogu.
I'm gonna wait till I see it to give like my thoughts on it.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people, it seems recently with the trailer coming out, was it last week, the final trailer? A lot of people seem to not be as high on this movie, and people think it's going to be like the worst Star Wars movie. That's going to be like a bomb in the box office, like it's going to do horribly. I think the first season of the show, there's 2 seasons? 2 or 3?
There might be 3.
I think the first season was just one of the best TV shows I think I've seen in a long time.
It was
the first
very
season
good.
just hit fantastic.
Uh-huh.
I'm intrigued to see how this translates into a full-on movie.
Yeah.
Right? Because, like, for example, Peaky Blinders is my favorite TV show of all time, drama, and the movie just came out, and I thoroughly enjoyed it just because it's Peaky Blinders, it's Tommy Shelby, it's the whole gang kind of, but it was kind of hard translating it to a 2.5 hour movie.
Yeah,
so
I think
you wonder
this is very similar.
Yeah,
people have the same idea of like, is this really worth turning into a movie when you can just do probably another season of the show? I'm kind of in the same boat. The trailers look fine.
Yeah, nothing looks. I know a lot of people are like, oh, this looks horrible. It's like,
the production value looks like what the show is.
Sure.
Which is still pretty high.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you are making a Star Wars movie, which now there are 11, right? There are 9 episode movies.
Original 3, the 3 prequels, the 3 new ones, that's 9.
Plus
Solo
the
and
Solo
Rogue
movie
One.
and then Rogue. Yeah, so 11.
Yeah.
So like making a Star Wars movie is pretty big and important. So if you're going to put something out there, like it, better be good. I mean, we could have literally a whole like side episode where we could talk about these Star Wars movies because I know that's a big hot topic.
Yes,
like,
and I have my thoughts.
There are some of those, the sequel, episode 7, 8, 9 that I may have liked that a lot of people didn't like.
Well, I think we can all agree episode 9 was absolutely just horrible.
It was not good. So The Mandalorian Grogu, the movie version comes out Memorial Day weekend.
Yep.
And then the weekend after, last week of May, I think middle of the week, Spider Noir.
Yeah, can you touch on that?
So this is a show. It's coming on Prime, all 8 episodes. It's called Spider Noir, not Spider-Man Noir, which is from the comics.
Okay.
I think that's because of a Sony like licensing thing. They can't call it Spider-Man, but they call it Spider Noir. And again, I could be wrong on that, but I'm pretty sure there's some
It's not an animated series, is it?
No, it's live action.
Okay.
But from what I've seen is the Nick Cage who played Spider Noir in the Into the Spider-Verse movies. So he voiced Spider Noir in those movies.
Okay.
Apparently, this is his character from that same universe.
Interesting. Okay.
So I don't know if it's a continuation of the story, if like Spider-Verse there'll be any references in it, but supposedly this is, part of that universe, so to speak.
Interesting.
Yeah. So all 8 episodes are coming out on Prime. Nick Cage is playing Spider-Noir live action. I want to say it takes place in like the early to mid 1900s.
See, I love this type of shit. I
Oh
love
yeah,
it.
and you can watch it. So they're releasing a black and white version of it, and then a color version of it.
Yeah, like I said, I like that because, like, you talk about these old, like, murder mystery
Mhm.
movies, shows. So, like, Rear Window's another good crime, like, thriller.
Mhm.
That's old school. That's like this noir, dark. And then, I know you're gonna touch on it later, but that episode, It's Always Sunny, when it's back
Oh
in
yeah,
time. I don't know, that stuff just it's fantastic. So I'm definitely gonna have to tune into
yeah.
this.
No, I have high expectations for it, and I mean it's 8 episodes, so I bet it's probably 30 to 40 minutes an episode. But I mean, it should be pretty good. Nick Cage usually goes all out for
Do you
these
think he'll be
things.
looking for clues?
He could be looking for clues. So he's also, side note, he's not playing Peter Parker. The Spider Noir character I don't think is Peter Parker. I want to say his name is Ben something, not Ben Parker.
Is that his uncle?
No, it's not his uncle. So it's a Spider version or
Okay.
Spider-Man. I
Okay.
don't call it like variation, but it's not Peter Parker, so it's a different
Interesting.
character.
Okay.
And I believe he's a detective, and I mean noir,
That's
obviously in the name. So
fantastic.
that's May 27th, and then May 29th. So that last weekend of May, Backrooms is coming out. The movie.
Dude, I'm excited for this.
Yeah.
Because you see, like, all over social media, like, Backrooms. I don't know if you guys have seen this. I think a lot of people have, like, fears of this, saying it's like it's like an infinite different world, like a space where it's just continuous.
Mm-hmm.
And, if you guys haven't seen the trailer, if you guys like horror thrillers, I don't know exactly how scary this movie's going to be.
I would say it's probably going to be half horror, half thriller.
Thriller. It looks fascinating.
Yeah.
Like, it looks fascinating.
So yeah, essentially like the Backrooms. If you don't know what it is, it's like the definition, I don't say there's like a specific definition of it, but it's essentially portrayed as like an impossibly large, extra dimensional expanse of empty rooms.
It just makes you feel weird.
Yeah.
A lot of people have like nightmares about this stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think the original like Backrooms was like an old department store that was going through complete renovations.
Yeah.
So it's like the fluorescent lights, the old
Yep.
carpet, and just a bunch of walls. And it's just like, I don't call it uncanny, but it makes your like
unsettling.
the hair on your skin spike, and it's very unsettling.
Like, I've seen backroom stuff, like themed around like water parks and stuff, like abandoned water parks.
Yeah.
Where you see like an infinite slide just going down, you just don't see where it ends.
Yeah.
Like things like that. So it can be a little unsettling. So go watch the trailer if you guys haven't seen this. I think we might potentially do a review on this one later on in later episodes once it comes out and we see it. It looks fascinating. I mean, if you guys don't know, Ellie and I love horror movies. That's been kind of like our thing growing up. We'd go see all the best horror movies. I think our sister mentioned to us a couple weeks ago when we were chatting about our podcast. She mentioned how there was one summer Elliot and I think Alex was with us too. We just watched a crazy amount of horror movies and like try to rank them versus like which one scared us the most versus which one didn't. So this one, like you said, I don't know if it's going to be like a straight horror movie, not like bloody and guts, things like that, but it could be one of those mind horror type of films that can really get the hair on the back of your neck standing up.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. So that comes at the end of May. That's it for the month of May. A lot of stuff, like we mentioned at the top.
Yeah, a lot of. I think it's going to be maybe not like top end quality movies, but I think it's got a really good group of different types of films, different types of shows that I think can be for everyone. And I think you might have some really sneaky good movies coming out in May that I think you might see later on in the year that people will be talking about for, potential
like
awards.
award season stuff.
Yeah.
Yep. So our next story, we're going to talk about Spider-Man Brand New Day updates. I know in our last episode we talked about like CinemaCon stuff.
Yeah, we talked a little bit about CinemaCon. We touched on Spider-Man, obviously, with the trailer releasing.
So Entertainment Weekly has a summer movie preview series, and director Destin Daniel Cretton, who is directing Spider-Man, also did Shang-Chi.
Shang-Chi, great movie.
He, along with Tom Holland and Zendaya, and also some crew members, basically offered kind of like an annotated script for this release this summer. So there were like snapshots of some of the script, and then they put a bunch of notes on it. One being that it takes place 9 months after No Way Home.
Okay, so not a super long amount of time after that movie ended, but something that still kind of feels fresh.
Yeah, so like if you've seen No Way Home, and again, spoiler for that, the spell. Peter doesn't, no one remembers who Peter Parker is anymore.
Correct.
They know who Spider-Man is, but they don't know who Peter Parker is as a person.
All this, everyone who knew him doesn't know him anymore.
Right. And so he's kind of on his own.
Yeah.
Doesn't really have that Stark technology anymore, which is the other part of the annotated script, was that he created his own AI assistant called Evie, since he no longer has Tony Stark tech. And apparently he made his own massive like 3D printer, some kind of fabricator. So, I mean, Peter Parker's a really smart guy.
Of course.
Like, he's able to do this stuff on his own, even without, Tony Stark's help.
Correct.
So he was able to kind of create this own massive printer. At the end of No Way Home, we saw like literally the last scene, he looks like he had created his own suit. Like he, sewed his own suit.
Yeah.
Which is a classic Spider-Man trope. So essentially, he has this new suit, and it's inspired from his encounters with the other two Spider-Men.
Yeah, because they were talking about, all three of them were just talking about like how each of their Spider-Men are different in their universes, and they're kind of going through like, because I think it was in Tobey Maguire's character, actually the webs come out of his body.
Yeah, so they're coming from
right, and then Tom Holland's obviously they don't. It's technology,
right,
so
technology
it's like
for it.
They were going back and forth on all the different stuff they have. So obviously he pulled, who knows what he pulled from that conversation from those two.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I mean, it was kind of a cool look to see. I wouldn't say some spoilers, or at least some cool things from this. So I'm really excited about it. Again, we talked about in the last podcast, but this movie comes out end of July. So 2 weeks after The Odyssey, which Tom Holland is in as well.
It's crazy.
Zendaya, right? Is Zendaya?
I think she's in it.
I think she's in The Odyssey, right? But yeah, so that comes out the end of July.
See, but that right there is like, that's just like, we've been missing that summer type blockbuster. Yeah. You get The Odyssey, and then 2 weeks later you get a new Spider-Man.
Right, like right in the heart of like the summer.
It's
right
perfect.
In July.
It's perfect.
Yep. Yeah, I'm really excited for it.
It's what we paid the A-list membership for.
Exactly.
Not for the free upgrade to large popcorns.
No. Or be able to get, the fast lane, right? Because that really never works.
Doesn't work. But no, you go to see these types of films, and it's exciting. Get all your friends together and go see a movie, and it's great experiences. So
yeah, should be exciting. Fun. All right, so before we get into our main review of Crime 101, we are going to go through a couple of quick hits. This is something we, started last week in the first podcast, but something we want to kind of, I don't know, like have like a story that maybe didn't make like our top 2 stories, but we want to just quickly
kind of just go through it. I mean, sometimes they might range for 10 seconds. They might go for 30. They might go for a minute. Just kind of quick little bullet points of some things that him and I, Ellie and I both saw throughout the week that were like, hey, we should talk about this, but maybe not super in depth.
Right.
But just something that we can touch on. So,
yep. So you want to go first?
Yeah. So a lot of you, I know a decent amount of people love Ted Lasso. So Ted Lasso's season 4 trailer just dropped. Looks like the show's dropping August 5th on Apple TV Plus.
Yep.
Ted's coaching a second division women's team, and it looks like majority, if not all, of the main cast is returning.
Yeah. So it appears, I mean, after end of season 3,
I didn't see. That's another hole in my resume.
Do you want me to spoil it for you? Okay, I don't have to spoil it for you, but essentially, he's no longer coaching AFC Richmond, the men's team.
Sure.
He's taking over the women's team.
Okay.
Season 3 ended in a way that you thought it was like, oh, we're wrapped up. Like, it's a great way to end the show.
Show's over.
It was a 3-season show. It was perfect.
Yeah.
They tied a bow on it, whatever. It seemed like after season 3 came out, they're like, oh, we can actually make another season because people still love the show.
It's fantastic.
It is fantastic. My only negative is I don't know if they need this, and I don't know if I'm going to love it.
Okay.
So have they, gone too far with it? Maybe not. Maybe.
Yeah, I'll probably do a season 3 watch before this comes out, maybe like a couple weeks before, just to kind of get ready for it. But
yeah. So Apple TV, another show, Silo.
Yes,
Season 3 teaser trailer dropped.
Yeah, so they just released a little teaser trailer. It's a quick minute. Didn't really give much away. Just basically just not really a recap, but it's kind of like setting the stage for what's to come in season 3. If you haven't watched it, I don't think you've watched it yet.
No, I have not.
No, it's fantastic.
Rebecca
Ferguson's main lead. Tim Robbins is in it. I mean, it's a fantastic show. It's kind of like a
Do you see Tim Robinson?
Tim Robbins.
Oh, Tim Robbins. Sounds like Tim Robinson.
No, Tim
in that
Robinson
show.
is not in Silo. That would be wild.
Yeah.
But it's like a Hunger Games meets Fallout type of show. Not in the sense of like, hey, we're gonna put a bunch of people to go kill each other to the death, but it has that feel. They're basically underground living in a silo.
Yeah.
The world ended, and they all somehow are in this silo together. Not to give anything away spoiler wise, but that trailer, that teaser, it's basically a teaser trailer. I don't think it was a full trailer that dropped, so that's going to be exciting. Apple TV's they just have so many good shows.
Yeah,
like it's incredible, the shows and the quality of the shows they're putting out, and Silo's one of them, and it's one I love, and I cannot wait for that to come out later this summer.
That is definitely another show that's on my list.
Yeah,
There's several Apple TV shows I haven't watched.
Yes.
Like For All Mankind, I know is a massive one. Obviously, I've seen Severance, which is one of my favorites.
That could be a
Ted
whole
Lasso,
episode.
obviously, I've seen.
Slow Horses.
Oh, Gary Oldman, right?
That show
okay.
it's based off books.
Yeah.
Based off a novel.
Okay.
That show is fantastic. But Silos season 3 comes out I think later this summer, maybe early in September. I'm not sure the exact date on it, but check it out.
All right.
So another quick hit for you, Elliot. Looks like you and I were talking about this last week, but it looks like there might be a Django Zorro crossover movie based on Quentin Tarantino's comic book in the works at Sony. So talk about it.
Yeah, so I saw this on IGN, and this is something that I want to say I have to dig for, but it's not like the main, news of the week.
Sure.
Like there is with like Spider-Man or, new trailers coming out. This one's interesting because apparently Quentin Tarantino, who directed, I think he definitely wrote Django Unchained, did a kind of a crossover comic with Matt Wagner with Zorro. So Zorro is, mass vigilante, defends, commoners and indigenous people of California. That I think most of that takes place in the early 1900s. Django Unchained was like mid 1800s, like right towards the end of slavery in the United States. But apparently there was a comic that I'd never heard about where there was a crossover. So I think it took place after the events of Django Unchained.
Okay. Have you been able to find that comic?
No, I have not searched for it, but I think I want to read it now that this is going to be green lit. So it's a very fascinating idea. There's been no director, writer announced for this.
Sure.
Tarantino apparently is not directing.
Okay.
Which saddens me, but I get it. Yeah. We'll see if it changes. Apparently he gave his blessing though for this to be greenlit. Again, no plot details, no release date, no casting information, anything like that.
I don't know. I think I'd love to see a Quentin Tarantino movie with Zorro and Django. I think that'd be just bonkers.
That would be pretty awesome. And Antonio Banderas played Zorro years ago. I wonder if he would reprise his role if they wanted to continue this. Also with Jamie Foxx playing Django.
I mean, you could. I can't picture anyone playing Django other than Jamie
I could
Foxx.
imagine those two on the screen together getting into havoc.
Electric.
Oh my gosh, that'd be amazing. So yeah, that's an interesting one. I'm looking forward to kind of seeing more details as it comes along. But again, it's in the works at Sony, and no other details yet have been released. And our last quick hit that we're gonna go through, The Odyssey dropped a new trailer.
Electric. Absolutely electric. I put it on, I think maybe right before I came over here to record because it dropped. I think was it yesterday? Or was it today?
Yeah, and then the last couple. I think it was yesterday.
Yeah. I mean, it looks like everything you would want it. Again, we kind of beating the same drum. I mean, we talked about it last week with this movie, but that trailer was it's not maybe not for me quite on that Dune 3 trailer level, but going through and watching everything and with the cast, it looks just electric.
Yeah, it does.
Like it's an electric factory.
And the commentary on it online is you have one side, it's Christopher Nolan people they love it. It looks amazing.
Yeah, I saw that
Christopher
today.
Nolan. It's he does not miss. I mentioned that last week's podcast. He does not miss.
If he misses, it's it was still a decent film.
Right. And then other people are quote unquote historians say the armor's not accurate of the time, which it's not, but this is also a fictional movie.
Correct.
And I think there's also showing a visual of Cyclops in it.
In the trailer?
Yeah,
there was.
Yeah, so this is not real.
Bonkers.
Yeah, so I we both have full faith in Christopher Nolan. So
yeah.
I completely think this will be a hit.
I don't know, between seeing that and then Spider-Man 2 weeks later, I mean, it's going to be talk about a fun little jaunt into the summer that'll get you through the doldrums of July when it's just hot and you want to put on a good movie and boom, you get two of them back to back. And like you said, Christopher Nolan hardly misses. So this one's going to be, who knows where it's going to be in his, upper echelon of movies, right? You have The Dark Knight, Inception, Oppenheimer. You have a bunch of films that are top tier, S tier level. Don't know where this one's going to rank. I'm interested to see the leads, like Matt Damon. I'm really interested to see how he portrays Odysseus. I'm really intrigued to see how Anne Hathaway, how those top level actors, how they can perform on the screen with Christopher Nolan. Obviously, a few of them have done Christopher Nolan movies.
Right.
But I think it's exciting. Feels like cinema's starting to make its way back.
The big blockbusters are coming.
Yeah.
I mean, we're into May now, so expect that, right?
Yes.
Okay, you ready to get into the main review?
Yes.
All right. So, Crime 101. This movie was released back in mid-February from director Bart Layton. He's an Englishman, also wrote the screenplay for the movie. Doesn't have a ton to his name, but this movie stars Chris Hemsworth, Mark Ruffalo, Barry Keoghan, and I think Barry Keoghan actually came out recently and said that's not how you pronounce his name.
How does he pronounce it?
Not going to even try. So I'll look it up eventually, but
Okay.
I don't know if it's pronounced Keegan. Maybe it's Kagan or Kagan, not Keegan. Anyways, and then also Halle Berry's in it. So synopsis of the movie, really quick: a master thief and an insurance broker join forces for a big heist, while a determined detective pursues them to prevent the multi-million-dollar crime. This movie is available on Amazon Prime.
Amazon Prime. Yep.
Not a theater movie. It's been
Nope.
on Prime since mid-February. It'll continue to be on Prime.
Continue to be on Prime.
Yeah. So, all right. Initial reactions. What do you think?
I think Chris Hemsworth and action thrillers are perfect.
Yeah.
Right? Because everyone knows Chris Hemsworth is, when you think Chris Hemsworth, you think Thor, right? And obviously those Marvel movies they're action based. They're sometimes they can be thrillers, they're comedies in a sense, but after seeing him in Extraction, which those movies I think they're on Netflix.
Two of them, yeah.
Two of them. They're fantastic films. Like Chris Hemsworth in an action role is something I didn't know that I needed. And then after watching this one's not as action, right? In the first half of the movie, it's a little bit more action based, and it's more kind of like thriller, drama-esque movies. But I actually really, this one kind of didn't really take me by surprise. I think, and we'll get into it once I get into, things about what I thought worked, what didn't work. I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I think it's a good movie to put on a, whenever you're, scrolling through movies, you can't really decide on a movie, throw Crime 101 on.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think it was a good movie, not a great movie.
Yeah, I would agree.
Like you said, it's a relatively good action movie, but it's not always full with action.
Correct.
Yeah,
Correct.
It kind of towed the line with action and dramatic.
Drama.
But I mean, like you said, Chris Hemsworth in action movies. Obviously, you have Thor, and completely different kind of genre with superheroes, but he is a really good action movie.
He's fantastic.
Yeah, and you don't have to do too much, or he does not have to do too much for you to be like hooked in on it.
Correct. And I was hooked in right away on this film. I thought how they shot the movie. And if you guys see it, you'll kind of see what I'm talking about. The way they filmed it, the way they kind of just made transitions from different scenes. The sound quality was top notch.
Yeah,
like it was fantastic.
Yeah.
But like you said, it's a good movie. I think there were a couple things I think holding it back from being like the most talked about movie so far this year. I think there were some things that too many little threads. There were too many kind of stories you were trying to follow.
Yeah.
Throughout the movie, where it's like, okay, well, these two people now meet. Okay, now these people are going together. It's just like you were following so many kind of like little tiny storylines that I think maybe could have been maybe not expanded upon, but just kind of, I don't want to say cut out, because cut out's not the right word, because I think a couple of those that we talked about were kind of important for how the movie ended up, transpiring, but it just felt like there was, I think it had all the qualities of like a top level movie.
Yeah.
It had it. It had everything you wanted. It had good action, had good story, had a good to great acting, but it just, some of the story plot point lines that you kind of were working through kind of felt like it tailed off a little bit.
Right. And I know, it's not a great description for a podcast, but it was a really fun movie, really good movie, but something just felt off. Yeah. Right? Like it felt like it wasn't fully complete.
Like it was in second gear the entire time.
Yeah, like it was a second gear. You're waiting for him to go to full gear in first gear, third gear. Yeah.
We don't drive. We don't drive stick shift.
Yeah, I don't know much about cars still. But I mean, to get a little more context on the plot of the movie without spoiling anything yet, essentially Chris Hemsworth's character, is it Mike? No, that's not right. Is it Mike?
Mike James.
Yeah, all right, because one is kind of his fake name, one's his.
Correct.
Yeah. He essentially like intercepts like big transactional.
Correct.
Like,
so like in the first part of the movie,
deals.
I guess this technically wouldn't be a spoiler because
go
first part of the movie, you kind of just, you don't know what's going on, and then you kind of see two guys go into a local jewelry store. It's kind of like in not a great area, one of those like not a pawn shop, but kind of a pawn shop.
Yeah.
And they're taking money. You're not taking money. They're taking diamonds to this like a jewelry store, like a nice jewelry store.
Yeah.
And the guy takes them in the back. And he basically says, hey, these are the fake diamonds, but I'm giving you the real ones. You need to tape them to your leg.
Yeah.
And Chris Hemsworth's character somehow gets to be the security who follows these guys who are transferring the funds. Here we go again. Not money. Diamonds.
Yeah.
And he follows them to the jewelry store, and he kind of basically holds them up when the timing is right.
Yeah.
And he basically takes the real diamonds because he knows they're there. And how he got that information is what people are wondering. How is he getting this information?
Right.
How does he know the guy has the real diamonds? How does he know the diamonds that he's transferring are fake? And the key thing, obviously, for this is he doesn't resort to violence.
Right. He does not commit any violence.
Correct.
He's like, I mean, we even saw at the beginning of the movie where he like kidnapped the guy. He like basically, they're getting on the highway. He stops his car, opens up the trunk. The guy behind him gets out of the car.
The guy who
and
was
starts
trying to
yelling at him,
kidnap.
and then he pulls a gun on him. Chris Hemsworth pulls a gun on this guy, and then just says, "Get in the trunk." And then he's like, "But there's a water bottle."
He's like,
in there.
there's water back there.
So, like,
and he's closed the trunk on him.
He's like, "Give me your phone." Like he does not resort to violence.
No.
And then there's I guess there's kind of a big scare early on with him, which kind of sets the tone for the whole movie. Like
he's a little rattled.
He's a little rattled because the heist that he was intercepting, I wouldn't say goes wrong, but he gets basically gunpoint at him. Someone shoots him, but doesn't hit him.
Correct.
Or at least you think doesn't get hit, which kind of stuns him a little bit, and then kind of, again, like drives a movie of like he wants to get out of this life, essentially.
Again, this movie had so many pieces, I think, working for it. It had so many things where you're like, oh, there's Mark Ruffalo's character as the police detective who's, he goes through all these different, loops to kind of prove it's the same guy doing these same robberies all the way up and down the coast. And he's talking about how the guy has an MO. He doesn't resort to violence. He knows exactly, he cuts all the cables so there's no surveillance.
Yeah.
He's the Chris Hemsworth's character is very detailed and he knows exactly what he's doing. It's all planned out. And Mark Ruffalo's character is like so adamant that there's one guy out there.
There's one guy doing all these kills.
And it's not just
all these kills, these crimes.
Yeah, and it's not just like random selection of why these things are happening.
Right. And his boss at the police station don't believe him, or like saying like,
hey dude, like let's
let it go. Like this is clearly not connected. And the reason why it's called Crime 101 is because all these crimes that Hemsworth is committing, his character, happen right off the 101 highway in Los Angeles.
Correct.
So anytime he does one of these things, he gets in his car, he drives off to the 101 and then is able to get away, essentially. And so there's been like these crimes, they're literally right off the highway, and at one point in the movie, Mark Ruffalo's character kind of shows like a map of this is where all these crimes happen, and here's the 101 right in the middle.
And it's like back and forth. So like on that map, so are we good to get into spoilers, I guess, a little bit now?
Yeah, go ahead.
So like on the map, this isn't really a spoiler, but we'll get into spoilers, but on the map he has like the whole line like Elliot just talked about, like you just talked about, and it's like every other. So one time he'll hit south, the other time he'll hit north. So they kind of knew when he was going to hit the next one. They were kind of guessing, but at that time, like Elliot, like you said, they were talking about how he kind of was like a little rattled, and he kind of wanted to get out of it. And he's like, I don't think this is right. So he meets, I think it was Nick Nolte.
Yep.
Rest in peace.
Yeah, rest in peace. He died.
He's kind of like the guy who. That's a thing. That's another thing, though. It's like they didn't really expand upon who this guy was.
And I guess like that's part of the movie. Like you don't need to know that detail.
Sure.
But essentially, he was like.
He's the guy who's given him the money.
He's given him the money in the jobs, right?
Yes. Well, Chris Hemsworth, I think he plans all the jobs.
Oh, you're right. He does.
I think it's just a guy who said, "Hey, do this for me. You can do whatever you want and plan it, and I'll give you the money once you give me the diamonds or the jewelry or whatever." So he kind of rattled, and this is where Barry Keoghan comes in, and he basically Nick Nolte's character calls him and says, "Hey, my guy's getting a little shaky. You need to do this." But
also surveillance on Chris Hemsworth's character.
Correct.
Because he's kind of feeling a little suspicious about him because he's trying to get out of the game, essentially.
So it's like there were little bits and pieces where it felt just a little too, I wouldn't say rushed.
Yeah.
But it felt like there was so much happening.
Yeah.
And they were trying to fit all these different stories and all these different webs of all these things into the 2-hour-ish movie. And some of it hit, some of it didn't. But yeah, like when the one heist that he was nervous about, he's like, hey, it's the middle of the day. Who knows how many people are going to be there. Chris Hemsworth's character doesn't do that heist, and it's Barry Keoghan, and shit went bananas.
Yeah. I mean, there was violence. Like, people got hurt.
Yes.
I don't think anyone
No one died, but he's off. Dude, Barry Keoghan's character was a psychopath.
Right. And when they hear about it, on the news and the police hear about it, Mark Ruffalo is like, this doesn't seem right, because this is like the same spot he knew was going to happen.
Correct.
But he's like, this seems off.
And all of his police buddies are like, dude, you called where it was going to happen. This is definitely our guy. And he goes, no, I'm telling you guys, this is not him.
Yeah.
He's not this careless. He's not this violent. He's quick. He's in and out. No violence. And as the movie progresses, there's a whole, I know you touched on it, the whole storyline with Monica Barbero. Do you want to get into that? Why you thought it wasn't necessary?
Let's do that. And Halle Berry. We haven't mentioned her yet. Her character.
Yeah.
So I'll go with Halle Berry first. Her character, she works for a firm that basically, I don't know if it's an insurance firm.
It basically is.
They essentially work with like high wealth clients to insure everything.
Art.
Yeah. Art,
weddings,
jewelry, everything. And so her character has been at this firm for I think 10 or 11 years. She's not been made partner yet, so she's kind of frustrated with that. And so her main story is that she is trying to insure this one couple who are getting married, or client, like basically all of the artwork in his house. And then for his upcoming wedding with his really, really young bride to be,
who she thought was
which
his daughter.
thought was his daughter.
And I
So when
think
she
that
mentioned that, that kind of
killed the whole deal.
So she ended up not making the deal herself. It was some other a new person at the firm.
Yeah,
ended up getting the case or whatever.
basically a younger female version who, as you get into the movie, right, she gets frustrated because she keeps asking because she thought she was going to be named partner. She's been there for 11 years. They didn't name her partner. They're kind of dragging their feet on it because they probably don't want to name her partner. And that's, again, getting back into that. It's like, this is where it kind of got a little weird. It's like the first time you see her and Chris Hemsworth character interact, it's, they're at a...
Isn't it right outside the restaurant?
It's right outside the restaurant, right?
They were both getting their cars
Both
valeted.
getting their cars. So it's like, did that happen? Like, did he mean to meet her there? Did he not?
Yeah.
And then he ends up meeting her at an art gallery. Like, he knew she was going to be there.
Which he knew she was going to be there because I think
he paid the that's how he was getting his information. Spoiler, obviously.
Yeah.
He was getting his information from a kid, I think, who worked at Google.
Yeah.
And he was paying him on the side, and he would hack into accounts. So he hacked into her Gmail, got into her work email, got into her calendar, and he kind of knew where she was going to be.
Yeah.
And it kind of happened that way. But again, it's like one of those little things where it's like another little storyline that you're trying to follow.
Right.
And
Which is completely separate from her kind of small storyline with Mark Ruffalo's character.
Correct.
Yeah, with the detective.
Correct.
Yeah. Because they had, their run-in was, I think I don't know if it was her clients were the jewelers, maybe. And so she wanted to like investigate or like talk about it. And Mark Ruffalo and his partner were on the case.
Correct.
On that, that same incident. So that's how they crossed paths. And
then they met at yoga, and it's just like a whole big kind of like, they had all the ingredients. But
I wouldn't say it reminded me of the movie Crash. You remember that movie?
No, I never saw Crash.
That one, it's basically like, that was more of an ensemble cast. I mean, this has like, high list actors, but that was like a lot of people had different storylines and their paths kind of crossed, like Love Actually. It was a very similar kind of situation. And then it all comes to a head at the end.
Yeah.
So
honestly, how we're describing this movie is kind of how the movie went. It's kind of,
I
wouldn't say discombobulated, but it really is. Like, it's really an enjoyable movie. I think for most of you, you'll like it. It's a good crime. It's a good crime thriller, good heist movie. We don't need to spoil the end of the movie. I guess we can if you want to talk about it. I think I liked how they ended the movie, but at the same time, it's like, I don't know if Mark Ruffalo's character would have done what he did.
Yeah. So yeah, I won't like fully spoil it, but let's just say Barry Keoghan's character, who is kind of like, I won't say a lone wolf.
He's like a lone ranger, but he's like he's off his rocker.
Yeah, he's off his rocker. Him, Mark Ruffalo, Chris Hemsworth, all kind of come together in the hotel room where this wedding of the Halle Berry's client is taking place.
Correct.
And it reminded me of the scene in The Office where they're in the conference room and they're all pointing the fake guns at each other with Andy and Dwight and Pam and Michael.
Yeah.
Because I won't spoil like what happens, but essentially that's kind of what happened in that hotel room at the end of the movie.
Yeah. I mean, they're all kind of sitting there, and at the end of it, Mark Ruffalo's character, again, Mark Ruffalo ended up playing a guy who he was supposed to be the guy transferring the jewelry, and Chris Hemsworth's character didn't know, but maybe he knew.
Yeah.
And it just kind of got a little convoluted.
Yeah,
and then,
just like this conversation is kind of convoluted.
Yes. And at the end of the movie, right, he basically lets, Chris Hemsworth's character walk, even though he didn't really. It's like, I guess what we got from it is Chris Hemsworth's character was that he was an orphan, lived in.
He was in foster care.
Yeah. And he kind of, sympathized, I guess, a little bit with his character of like, hey, he's doing these things. He just wants money.
Yeah.
Because he never had any growing up.
Right.
He didn't have anything. He's not violent. He's not killing anybody. He's not forcefully injuring people. He's just doing it for the money. And Mark Ruffalo's character is kind of like, you know what?
Detective Lou
is kind of like, you know what? I kind of see where he's coming from a little bit. But that kind of, it seemed a little out of character for how he was the entire film.
Yeah, and Mark Ruffalo, I keep saying, his name, but Detective Lou, like, he has his own, storyline with his life with his wife, where they're kind of getting separated, and he kind of doesn't know what to do and wants to move to the beach and start yoga, which is
how he met Halle Berry. Not how he met her, but how they ran into each other.
Right, how they ran into each other. So it's like, yeah, he was kind of out of character-ish for him. But
it's good.
Yeah,
I mean, Halle Berry's character ended up
quitting her job,
and then she basically tried to work with Chris Hemsworth.
Yeah,
with
she
Mike
did.
Or James.
That's kind of like towards the end of the movie, where he kind of gave her, after they met at the art gallery, basically he's like, hey, if you want to work with me on this, like, post a picture of the beach or something on Instagram and I'll find it. And she, of course, did not for most of that movie, and then
But
eventually
you knew where it was going. She kind of wanted to stick it to her entire firm.
right, because this heist that they were going to do where she's going to get all this money was the the deal that she wasn't able to close.
Correct.
So
I liked how they connected that up.
yeah.
But
And so she, sticks up to her boss and quits her job, and then decides to go with Chris Hemsworth on the job, and then almost gets killed.
Yeah, again, it's just like these little things.
Because Barry Keoghan's character, who's kind of this lone wolf, is kind of tracking her down because he
tracking
wants
her.
information on what's going on at the hotel for this wedding of her clients, so he can, go and take the money. And
that's how Detective Lou.
Could be a doctor.
Dr. Lou. What does that rhyme me from? Lou Holtz and Mark May on College Game Day. But so he basically comes in there and she gets basically beat up, and then she basically goes to Detective Lou and gives him all the details of what's going on, which is how Mark Ruffalo's character, gets into the whole thing, and that's how you kind of get like the Spider-Man thing at the end of the movie. They're all pointing at each other. Yeah.
Oh, that's a good reference too. Like the
they're all
Spider-Man
pointing at each other, like, hey.
Except the Spider-Man are pointing guns this time.
Yes, it's like they all know why they're there.
Yeah.
But each person has like bits of information that the other person doesn't.
Right.
And they're all like, wait, what is happening?
Yeah.
But quickly, do you want to touch on your whole kind of like not your beef, but like the whole Monica Barbaro?
Yeah, I mean, it's not a ton of beef, but I just thought her like that storyline wasn't really necessary.
Sure.
Like, because initially her character is driving her boss's car or something, and like runs into Chris Hemsworth's character's car while he's at a stoplight or something.
Correct.
And they didn't really hit it off. Like, I didn't even think the chemistry was good. He asked her if she had a kid
because then he was nervous because he didn't want to give her the insurance.
Right, the insurance information, because he's probably a stolen car or whatever.
Correct.
And so like there's a car seat in the back of her car, and he asks her if she has kids, and she's like, no, it's my boss's car. He's like, oh, well, I don't have kids either. It's like, okay,
very
whatever.
awkward,
very awkward. So I never thought they would actually like do anything. And she gives him her number, and he gives her his number for insurance purposes, and then he ends up texting her like the next day. I don't know what the time was on that, but he texts her and says, hey, this is, the guy you crashed into. You want to go out to dinner sometime? She said yes. So I'm like, there was no indication after that interaction.
Yes.
At least for me.
Yeah.
They maybe were trying to portray it, and I just didn't catch it.
Yeah, I think it was a little awkward. I think what they were trying to do, and this is just my own take, I think what they were trying to do is kind of show how Chris Hemsworth's character, after that initial heist in the first part of the movie, how he was like rattled, and it made him like, whoa, like maybe like 30,000 feet look like, do I want to be doing this for the rest of my life?
Right.
And I think when he saw that, and that's why he reached out to her, he's like, hey, she was kind of cute.
Maybe this could be a thing.
Maybe this could be a thing. Maybe
I
can settle down. And then obviously as the movie progresses, they keep painting out more. And again, it's just another storyline you're having to follow.
And that one, like, you do bring up a good point of like, this is what he could see his life being. But if you cut out those scenes with her, if you don't include any of that, if you don't include her character, you could have cut probably 20 minutes out of this movie.
Yeah. I don't know. I enjoyed it. I think it's, we can get into our ratings.
Well, before we get into ratings,
okay.
Do you think, and I haven't read anything about if there's a potential sequel, do you think there could be the door could be open for a sequel?
I think,
based on what happened at the end?
Now with movies, guys, like, you'll watch them, and there may not be, like you kind of talked about with Ted Lasso, right?
Yeah.
Okay, this movie's clearly like wrapped up. It's done. If they want to make a sequel, they will find a way to make a sequel, right? They can probably come back at the end of the movie and figure out why, maybe some other detective figures out that really wasn't the heist, and
that it was Chris Hemsworth. Like, they could figure that out because he kind of drove off into the sunset, so to speak.
Sure. And then when his quote unquote boss, Nick Nolte's character, finds out that he got away.
Yeah. Barry Keoghan's character, was he? Well, I don't want to spoil it, but
that's the whole point, right?
Yeah, that's fair. Is he for sure dead?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, I mean, you don't know. It's like you see these movies nowadays where you thought freaking Emperor Palpatine was dead, and boom, he comes back in episode 9. So it's like you don't know if he's dead.
So if it, like, let's say like there's enough viewership on Prime, because it's not a movie theater movie, so no box office.
Yeah.
It's like you don't have like those numbers. You have streaming numbers.
I would watch it.
I think I'd watch a sequel.
I think they could. I think the meat, it could be there.
Yeah.
And that's what I think. Obviously, we'll get into a spoiler, right?
Mm-hmm.
So Barry Keoghan's character basically comes in. Chris Hemsworth and Mark Ruffalo are basically holding each other at gunpoint, saying like, hey, I know who you are. You know who I am. Like, leave now and turn yourself in, whatever. Barry Keoghan's character comes in, holds Chris Hemsworth's character at gunpoint. Then Barry Keoghan starts pointing the gun at Detective Lou. And I think this is, it's kind of a quick, sudden thing, right? Which is why I think he let him go.
Yeah.
But Barry Keoghan's character, what was his name?
Oh, he had a weird name, and I wrote it down because I'm like, and I stuck on the Orman.
Orman.
O-R-M.
Orman.
Orman.
Orman or Orman. He basically was about to shoot at Detective Lou.
Yeah.
Right? He was about to shoot at Mark Ruffalo's character.
Yeah.
And Chris Hemsworth, James, Mike, whatever you want to call him, stepped up and shot him in the back.
Yeah.
And as you guys know, like we talked about, he never resorted to violence on anything.
Yeah.
And I think, he asked him, and I think that was part of the conversation. He goes, "What are you doing?" He goes, and Chris Hemsworth goes, "He was going to kill you."
Yeah.
Like, I don't resort to violence, but like, that was not going to happen. And I think that was the big kind of reason why he let his character go. He's like, this guy has been doing this for so long. There's no violence. And the minute he did violence was to save my life.
Right.
Which kind of is like, I get it. But at the same time, I think there's a little bit there where it's like,
yeah,
it's a little, I wouldn't say it's a reach, but I think it's a little bit of a reach.
Yeah.
So,
no, that's a fair assessment.
Again, very convoluted like this conversation.
Yeah. So let's get into our rankings. So our final verdict, I gave it an 82 out of 100.
Yeah, I gave it, I was rated an 81.
You're at 81?
Yeah.
Okay. So like I debuted last week, kind of my ranking scale, I have, 2 categories. I have my primary category.
Story
or
and
I guess
script.
two sections, 2 chapters, whatever. Primary categories and then secondary categories. So my primary categories is like the meat and potatoes of my rankings.
Story and script.
Story and script is one, and then characters and acting is the other.
Yep.
Stories and script, I gave it a 20 out of 25.
I gave it a 19.
Okay. And then characters and acting, I gave it a 21.
20 for me. I think the acting was great. I think the characters were kind of a little, we already got into it.
So actually looking at that, that's a 41 out of 50, which is an 82 out of 100. But going into the secondary categories, we have direction and execution. I gave a 7 out of 10.
8
out of 10. Entertainment value, I gave it a 9 because again, wasn't a full action movie, but I had a really good time watching it.
I did too.
I had a fun time.
It was one of those movies where it's like it flew by.
Yeah,
flew by. So I gave it a 9. I gave it a 9 as well.
Originality and creativity, I gave that a 9 out of 10 as well.
I did too.
9 out of 10.
Too,
okay.
Yeah.
Emotional impact, gave it a 7.
I originally had it at an 8.
Okay.
Just because of, towards the end of the movie, you kind of fell for Chris Hemsworth's character, but after kind of taking the day or two to kind of like before I gave my final rankings, I dropped that down to a 7 as well.
Yeah. And then personal bias / enjoyment, very, very similar to entertainment value, and I gave it a 9 out of 10. Again, like,
same.
It's a fun movie. It's not gonna win any awards.
No, I think it, again, there were moments where it's like, oh, this movie could be fantastic if they threaded the storylines right, and I think they just missed the beat with that one.
Yep. So, that total for me, like I mentioned, 82 out of 100. For you, 81.
81. Yep.
Okay. And now the final verdict: watch now, watch later, or watch never.
I'm teetering between watch now and watch later. I think if you're itching for like a crime thriller, watch it now.
Yeah.
I think it's good. I think it's a little bit different. You don't really see many jewelry heist type of movies. But if it's one of those things where it's like, hey, I got a list of movies I want to see, you can probably watch it later. Yeah.
That's where I kind of have it sitting. I have it watch later. Again, it's a streaming movie, so if you want to watch it whenever you can, if you have Amazon Prime, which I bet most of everybody does at this point. But yeah, it's not something like you have to do it right now.
No.
Like it's not like, oh my gosh, like best movie of the year, maybe. Like go watch it.
It's not it's like me with probably Dune or Doomsday. Like it's not I don't think it'll be on that level.
Yeah. Like an Odyssey kind of movie.
Like, you better go see this before this podcast even drops.
Yep. Yeah. So I think we're kind of in the same boat of watch later. Yeah. You're kind of teetering between watch now and watch later, but I think overall it's probably just a watch later.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay. Ready for our last segment?
Yes, sir.
All right. So what's on our minds?
You can go off with this one first. I know last week we kind of kicked off with me, so I'll let you go. So what have you been watching? What you been doing? What you been getting into?
Yeah. So aside from watching Crime 101 and finishing that movie 30 minutes before we met up tonight, been a little busy. I've been watching or rewatching.
Wait, why are you busy? Couldn't be you just having a baby.
Yeah, no 6-month baby around, even though I'm not working right now. Yeah. But while I've been dealing with him, I've been rewatching Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Great.
Which is one of my favorite shows, one of my favorite sitcoms. It's like in the rotation. I know you talk about like your rotation.
Yep.
It's in my rotation of shows that you can just put on and not always have to focus. So like I can be doing work like prepping for the podcast last night. I was going through a bunch of stuff and just had Always Sunny on the background. Playoff hockey.
That I commend you for that because I can't do it. Like if I have a show on, even if I've seen it 10 times, Friends, How I Met Your Mother, New Girl, like if I have it on and I haven't seen it in a while, like I will be watching it. Like
okay.
I can't.
So basically you have to like raw dog it to like get something done.
Yes, I
like
have to watch.
Nothing on.
Like I have to watch.
Quiet.
If I want to do stuff if I'm doing stuff around the apartment, if I have to get stuff done, if I have to do laundry, I'm not gonna have a TV show on. I will put on a podcast.
Yeah.
Our podcast.
Hear your own voice.
It's a great podcast to listen to like get your day going. You know, you got errands to run, throw it on, or I'll throw on like Spit and Chicklets, or I'll throw on like wrestling to watch that I'm trying to catch up on.
Yeah,
I'll throw it on. I can have my headphones in. I can listen. Don't have to.
And I do that a lot
always be on
too.
it.
Yeah. I'll either put a podcast in, but
where are you at with It's Always Sunny right now?
Season 7 maybe.
Okay,
or season 8 is right. It was a season after Matt got fat, which is literally an episode how Matt got fat.
You're getting right into the right into the good stuff.
Oh yeah. So I mean, and each season's only like 10 episodes, so it's very, and they're 23 minutes, so it's very fast to go through. And I just like a few weeks ago just put on like the first season. I'm like, I haven't watched this in a while.
I haven't seen the first
season. And then I'm like, you know what? I'll just keep watching as
Yeah.
So, and then on a non-TV or movie note, I sold my first trading cards on eBay. I have a label printer. I have some,
look at you
packing stuff for all my cards.
Gotta get a YouTube going.
But I'm a strictly Marvel focused trading card collector, I guess.
That's it, just Marvel.
Just Marvel. So I'm not doing baseball, no sports, no Pokemon.
No Yu-Gi-Oh.
No Yu-Gi-Oh. I don't even know if that's a thing anymore.
Blue Eyes White Dragon.
Nope, none of that. I got into this. I mean, I was into comics a little bit, and you know that. I have a stack of comics right here that I'm actually trying to sell.
What?
Yeah, I'm trying to sell them. Yeah.
I still have the comic book you got me for Batman.
That's a good one, isn't it?
Oh yeah, it's basically what they based off the Robert Pattinson Batman movie off of.
I mean, these comics I have been trying to get rid of are Moon Knight and Eternals Focus, which when they were, the movies were coming out or the show was coming out, I started collecting. So I've read them all, and I'm just kind of done with them. So I'm going to try to either sell them, or if not, I'll donate them to the local comic book store.
You're like Andy right now from Toy Story.
Just get rid of your toys.
I don't want to play with you anymore.
Well, I don't like having a lot of, stuff. So
like you threw away all of our Pokemon cards.
No, I did not do that. Did not do that. I'm on the record. Did not throw it away.
Not convinced.
But I sold my first trading cards last week. I won't be somebody who like, I don't say hoards cards, but like collects them and like
it's hard.
Has boxes full of them.
Yeah.
I would say I'm like 75% or maybe 2/3 in it for the money. Like I like the thrill of like opening a pack and
Mr.
seeing
Krabs.
like, okay, what's in here. I mean, it's gambling, right? That's what trading cards are.
Sure.
In a way, like you're trying to find like what's rare, what's
sure, and
worth
then but
something.
you'll have your cards that you really want to hold on to. It's like a lot of people, in the Pokemon world, a lot of people really want that holographic Charizard, right?
Yeah.
You can make a crap ton of money off it, but it's like one of those things where it's like this is like the most iconic Pokemon card you could ever have. So it's like trying to find the ones like, hey, I really want to keep this one, but also like, hey, this one can make me, more money than what I bought it for.
Right.
So it's like kind of balancing,
right.
a little
so
bit.
For example, like a new set of Topps Marvel cards came out like a month ago. It's like the 65th anniversary of the Fantastic Four like comics coming out.
Mm-hmm.
So I bought a box. Ended up buying 2 boxes, but they go for around $200.
Yikes! Wow.
So I spent probably close to $450 on 2 boxes. But
you bought 2 boxes.
I ended up buying a second box.
2 boxes.
But I ended up second box. But after buying the first box, I had a couple hits in there. So I'm like, all right, let's do another one. So I bought another one. The thing is, no, I'm not an addict because I haven't bought cards in over a month. Right now, I'm just trying to sell everything. But in one of the boxes, I found a card that's worth probably $400.
Shut the hell up! Are you serious?
Yeah, and I have another one that's worth. So I'm right now on eBay. I'm trying to sell a couple cards.
Cool.
Each for around $400.
Cool. As a podcast co-host, 10%.
Oh, you want commission for what?
Maybe just throw me a 20. Buy me a little Chick-fil-A.
Buy a little Chick-fil-A for what?
Chick-fil-A for
just
dinner.
Being the brother of the guy who's trying to sell.
Running the podcast with you.
Yeah. We'll see.
Start a little rewards program.
But I've sold a couple cards already, and
that's awesome.
Again, that's what I'm trying to do. And then there are boxes that are even more. Like there's a box that you can get like a specific Marvel one that's like $500. I'm like, if I can sell, what I have now and make over $1,000, then I can afford to, spend half of that on a box and hopefully get more hits to get
half of that on your
just even more and more and more and more. So
sure,
we'll see what happens. But that's what I've been up to in the last week. What about you?
Not a lot. Got some stuff cooking. I've been trying to catch up on Andor, the Star Wars show. So I watched the first season. I got about 10 how many episodes was the last season?
It's probably like 8 or 9. Maybe?
I think I got to with 2 episodes left, and I just stopped because I didn't want to finish it. Because it's been my favorite.
You do that too. It's
been my
right?
favorite Star Wars show.
Mm-hmm.
Rogue One. Obviously, we can get into a whole Star Wars discussion at some point down the line. Rogue One is my favorite Star Wars movie.
Yeah.
So seeing that character from you first met him in Rogue One into Andor, that show is just, it never misses.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't miss. So I knew I only had 2 episodes left and I really didn't want to finish it. That was part A, and part B, it's like, all right, well, I know I want to finish it because you told me you finished it and you wanted to go right into watching Rogue One.
Right.
I was like, oh, well, I got 2 episodes left, but I know I'm going to be gone for a week doing this and doing that. I'm not going to have time to watch Rogue One. So, like, playoffs are coming on. This was back in February. And I was like, I'll do it another time. So I just restarted season 2 because I was like, it's been a minute.
Yeah.
So I restarted season 2, episode or 2 in, and it's just fantastic.
It's such a good show.
Like, if you guys love Star Wars and you don't watch Andor, you don't like Andor, something's wrong with you.
Yeah. I mean, I understand people who love, like, seeing lightsabers and the like Darth Vader and those
Force,
battles, but like this is such a deeper cut into the Star Wars universe, but it's a very important one. So definitely recommend it.
So doing that, watched American Idol last night. They are into the top 3.
Okay.
So the finale's next week. They've done it over the recent years once it moved to ABC. They're not dragging this out anymore.
Yeah.
Because like the previous show, you'd have the performers on Monday, then you have the voting show on Tuesday, and it went on too long.
Yeah.
So it's been pretty quick. The final 3 are on Monday, and they have a lot of actually really good artists coming for the finale. I think Nelly's coming on. Who else is going to be there? Alicia Keys is going to be on it. I think is going to be their mentor, but she's going to be on there too. Yeah. They got a bunch of people coming on. So that'll be fun. I think, Katie, obviously mom and I watch it, but there's there are 3 that are left. I think they've sent home a lot of good singers, and obviously the people vote for who they want to vote for, and it's a popularity contest.
Mm-hmm.
I think the judges need to have a say in at least half of some portion of the vote, because their opinion should matter. And I think if you ever do that, they can actually be more critiquing.
That's fair.
In there, because ever since Simon, Paul, and Randy left, like. And Harry Connick Jr. was on there for a time, but no one ever critiques them. They never said like, "Oh, hey, you kind of missed this here." There's like, "Oh, you look great." That's kind of their way of saying like, "Oh, your song you didn't sing that great."
Right.
So there's a couple people on there. If any of you watch, I am pulling for the only guy left. Shocker, because the guys I thought this season were way above the ladies.
Okay.
So there's only one guy left, but he deserves to win. He should win, and he better win. And I will be bothered if he doesn't. His name is Jordan McCullough. Check him out.
All right.
Fantastic.
I'll have to.
And then other than that, watch The Godfather.
Yeah.
God, what a film. It is the best mafia movie of all time. Don't let anyone else tell you otherwise. Look, I love Goodfellas too. Fantastic movie, but it's not better than The Godfather. It's just not.
Yeah.
So we watched that, watching The Godfather 2. And then, like I talked about my sitcom, I have kind of like a cycle I go through. So I'll start, I'll go through a sitcom, watch the entire show, then start a new one. So I'm currently on the second to last season, or the last season, New Girl.
You finished it before, haven't you?
Yeah, I finished New Girl before, but I just threw it on one night and I'm like, oh, this movie, I love the show. It's hilarious. So I'm watching New Girl right now, and then I'll probably get into, Friends, Office, How I Met Your Mother, Modern Family. It's Always Sunny, things like that. So I just kind of go through spells of like what I want to put on at night.
Right.
So that and playoff hockey.
Yeah, I mean, that's taking up our lives right now too, even though our team's not in it.
Oh, I'm going to put on wrestling, or I'm going to put on New Girl, and it's, oh, no, playoff hockey's on.
I know. That's why I'm like, I was trying to watch this, quote unquote, trying to watch this movie last night, but I'm like, oh, there's a playoff game on,
game
hockey.
One. Golden Knights, Ducks, like, yeah.
I think I'd rather watch this than watch a movie.
I know. Sports kind of, take the cake, but other than that.
Ready to wrap this up?
Yeah, ready to go.
All right, well, that's it for this week's episode of Brothers and Blockbusters. If you enjoyed the episode, follow the show, leave a review wherever you hear podcasts. It really does help more than you think. More reviews equal more exposure to our lovely, lovely voices.
Lovely voices. It's a lovely hat.
Share the podcast with your friends, family, enemies, or anyone you know. If you want to reach out to us, you can send us an email at brothersand, so A-N-D, brothersandblockbusters@gmail.com, or visit our Instagram page, Blockbuster Brothers.
Yeah,
is that right?
So when I created the Instagram, I could not use the handle Brothers and Blockbusters. I tried like underscores and hyphens, and
someone has it. Isn't that it?
Someone has it. So we need to figure out who these brothers are and why they're taking our name. And so our Instagram page at Blockbuster Brothers. We have our links in the bio. You just have to click the links tab in the Instagram page. They'll have both of Ellie and I's Letterboxd accounts, and then the link to our Spotify and Apple podcast for the podcast.
And within Spotify and Apple, I believe we have links to our Letterboxd and I believe our Instagram as well. I think I've added that, or we'll add that.
Yep.
But next week, we may or may not be reviewing an earlier 2026 movie, 28 years later, The Bone Temple.
The Bone Temple.
Will it be as bone crunching as its predecessor 28 years later? Tune in to find out.
Tune in, guys.
Thanks for listening, everybody. We'll see you next time.
See you guys.